All right, what's up, you guys? So 30 minutes ago, I decided I was going to come down for a workout. And then I was like, well, let me go up and get my tripod. Well, first I noticed that no one had wrapped shit. The gym looks like fucked up. I feel as though I deserve much better living conditions. I take care of everything. I clean after myself. I respect my belongings. I'm kind, I'm compassionate, among other things. I know how to make hella money. I'm very intelligent. So there are a plethora of reasons. I'm prettier than you, I'm better than you, I'm different than you, whatever the fuck you need to tell yourself to make me right, wrong, bad, or good. At the end of the day, I deserve to be elsewhere. I deserve to be around people who conduct themselves in the same way I conduct myself. People who are not going to bring me down by their vibe being down. That's number one. Number two, FTR, I wanted to talk about some of the things that I went through to get to where I am mentally. I feel like people who are trapped in a cycle of pain, in a cycle of hopelessness, helplessness, I feel like it helps them to hear about some of the fucked up shit that success stories have to go through. And you can sit there and say, well, Heather, you don't have $12 million in your bank account yet, so you're not a success. Well, let me tell you what I am successful at. I've successfully completed 3 courses, ISSA, NCCPT, and NASM for personal training. I've successfully kept my shit together while being beaten by a man with a tire iron, stabbed and jumped by 3 women. I've successfully paid off a car all on my own. I've successfully gotten numerous different apartments. I've successfully given birth and raised 3 children for 14 years, with minimal help from anyone. I have grown multiple successful marketing businesses and content creation businesses. I have successfully grown numerous Instagram accounts and other Twitter, other platforms, TikTok accounts to several hundred or thousand of viewers and followers. So there's a lot of things that I'm successful at. I've successfully meal prepped. I've successfully taught others how to meal prep. I've successfully loved and been loved. I've successfully done a lot of shit. So with that being said, my ceiling is falling in my apartment. I have not been paid even once. I still haven't received a check. I still haven't received a court date, and I'm still pretty much in limbo with the whole situation. So I continue to document. That's number one. Number two, or maybe that's number 2. Anyways, number 3, I 100% want to move forward on charges of domestic terrorism, abuse, assault, negligence, for everyone who's been involved. 100%. There's not a doubt in my mind I want to move forward. Number 3 and 4, I want to talk about, so I'm being prevented right now from going live on Instagram as well as YouTube. So I'm just going to take video and then I'll probably do this live again, probably somewhere publicly, then more people can hear in person as well as online. So I just wanted to discuss what was going on in my life prior to everything that I discussed in length on the live video of my Instagram, where I discussed Marissa sucking the dicks of all of my exes. So I talked about a lot of shit during that video, but there's some more stuff that I wasn't able to touch on, and that's what I'm going to do now. So after meeting Dylan and beginning to date him, or he proposed to me and I was engaged in a relationship with him, and it wasn't really dating. Our relationship was different than any outside relationship. I'd say it was much more intimate because we really got to know each other. We spent a lot of time talking, planning business, growing business, doing business. We were in the club getting fucked up together, and this is how we fell in love. We were at a table having 4 to 6 hour conversations, and this is how we fell in love. So that's number 1. Number 2, I knew that I loved him because I saw the fuck up and I saw what the fuck up could be when he stopped fucking up. And that was something I had really related to in a lot of ways because I myself have fucked up, you know, everyone has, but I knew how it felt to be labeled, to be judged, and I respected him for being able to rise out of that fuck up, so to speak. Now, right before Dylan came home, first of all, maintaining any relationship with someone in prison is exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting. The prison system is staffed with high school graduates who are yes men to their superiors. But they're yes men who have a lot of freedom to mistreat and abuse the people beneath them, who in their eyes are the inmates. So they're supposed to abide by policy, but they're working with these inmates for 8 to 10-hour periods, sometimes longer, with little supervision. That means that they can mistreat and abuse these inmates and not get caught very easily. They can manipulate, they can coerce, and vice versa. If you're dealing with an inmate who has an above average level of intelligence, Dylan, and they're dealing with, you know, an officer, a CO who barely graduated high school, it's very easy to understand that they could easily be manipulated and used and coerced themselves, which is another reason why he got away with so much shit. I remember one time sitting at a table knowing that Dylan had hooked up with one of the COs, knowing for a fact. This bitch locked me and my child in this small caged area with 6 or 7 witnesses and refused to let us leave. There were tons of events like that took place over the 4 years Dylan was incarcerated, both in Vienna and at Stateville. I, have done my best to be forgiving, to be understanding, to move forward. But I'm gonna just say one more time, my car is gone, my home is gone, my bank account is on 0, and I'm still waiting on that check. I haven't been scheduled a court date. No one has heard any of my claims that I can prove, all provable. Now, after we made it through that long process that was very stressful, exhausting, painful, to stay committed to someone while he's having his issues on the inside and I'm being sexually abused and having my issues, stress, and life on the outside, we're both very exhausted emotionally. And we somehow made it through. So, during the last year of Dylan's incarceration, he was moved from Vienna, Illinois, 8 hours south, to Stateville in Joliet. He was a part of some work program, supposedly. And that program was a year long. Stateville is also the place where inmates go from county to be classified and await their assignment of which prison they'll spend the duration of their sentence in. So they call it NRC. Things are very bad in NRC, but we'll get to that at another day. Once Dylan got moved to Stateville, I was happy. It meant I wouldn't have to pay someone upwards of $1,000 for hotel, food, gas, to drive me 8 hours to visit him. The visits in Vienna were contact, so you're able to touch and hug and kiss. And they're long, like anywhere from 4 to 8 hours long. You could stay all day. There's no limit. And I mostly always would. So you've got to understand that, you know, him moving closer, it meant now I only had to drive an hour and a half outside of the city where I lived to see him, as opposed to 8 hours. Which I did every single Saturday and Sunday. Inmates are only given visits 2 days a week and also on holidays, and they're an hour each. So I was driving 3 hours to see him for one. I could feed him, I could hug him, I could hold his hand, and that was about it. But we were both grateful. We got to take our first set of photos together when he moved to Stateville, because they didn't allow photography in Vienna. And I remember him so excited, babe, do your hair. I'm gonna buy a set of photos. And I was equally as excited. Like, I had no pictures of him. I only knew him from the party scene before he went in. We weren't posing for photos together. He was a bad guy before he went in. I mean, he was doing fucked up shit. A lot of fucked up shit. So we took our first set of photos. He bought photos for every weekend. We took photos every weekend together. And I knew that I was the only person that was visiting him, because you have to get your visiting list approved. So it was me at every single visit, every single weekend. And I did that for the entire year he was there at Stateville. Am I recording? Yes. Okay. Besides the cost of, you know, the food he wanted to eat, it's also the gas, the time. Let me say that one more time. 3 hours round trip to sit with him for 1 hour. Every Saturday and Sunday, and also every holiday. But I did it, you know, as stressful as it was. Now, 2 weeks before he was gonna get released, I was leaving a visit, and some bitch called me a dumb white bitch. Her and her inmate were staring at Dylan and I hard. And I kept on asking Dylan, like, what the fuck is that bitch looking at? And Dylan's like, nothing, babe, she's not looking at you. No, everything's fine. But I'm looking back and I can see both her and the dude are staring at me, talking about me blatantly, making hand gestures towards me. And so she's probably receiving my energy like, bitch, what the fuck are you looking at? Although I didn't say anything to her, I could feel them, you know, and Dylan's denying it. So I leave, and in the parking lot, she tries to juke me. And it was like she wanted to fight me right then and there. And I didn't know this bitch from Adam. I'd never even seen her in the visiting room prior to that, to those 2 weeks that I saw her. But I was there every weekend. So I told her, I'm not gonna fight you here at the prison, bitch. Number one, I don't fight. I'm a lady. Number two, if I was gonna fight you, it wouldn't be on federal property. And number three, I don't even know you. What the fuck is your deal? What's your issue? What's your concern? Why are you starting shit with me? And she said something along the lines of some derogatory racist comment about me being white again. She was Hispanic. And that shit heated me up. I'm tired of being, you know, bullied around, especially by people in the prison system, because I'm not hood enough, or I'm not street enough, or because I'm too white. So I'm heated. And I tell her, look, bitch, there's a gas station up the road. Meet me there, I'm gonna fuck you up. I've never been in a fight before in my life, never. She says, cool, run it. We go to the gas station, I jump out of my car, slam the door. This bitch jumps out with 3 bitches. 3, I'm alone. There's no one in my car, I have no weapon, it's just me. Her and 2 other women, all having weapons, jump me and stab me over and over and over and over and over and over and over. On camera, in Bolingbrook, not 10 minutes after I left the prison. Then they jump in their car like some cowards and dip. I'm laying on the ground bleeding out, and another woman came. And she said, oh my God, are you okay? A bunch of people had already called 911. And I told her, I think I'm probably gonna die. I'm bleeding out, there's blood everywhere. There's blood all over my car. There's blood all over the ground. There's blood all over my seat. I'm losing consciousness, feeling dizzy and faint. The paramedics get there. They cut my clothes off. I'm naked in the back of the ambulance. They're counting puncture wounds on my body. They take me to Bolingbrook Hospital. I was scared, I was alone. My phone was gone. I had a trap phone in the glove box of my car, just in case. What do I mean by trap phone? Prepaid phone. That's just what they call it in the streets when it's a prepaid phone, trap phone. Prepaid. I had one of those in the glove box of my car. I had no contract phone with me. My money was gone out of my wallet. I had $500 to $1,000, 100% on God, cash in my wallet. The only people who had access to that were the police in Bolingbrook. They were the ones who went through my car. So the doctors checked me out. They put stitches, blue stitches in all the wounds. The bitches were using screwdrivers, not knives. So you only use sutures for deep cuts. These were all screwdriver cuts, so they weren't long enough to use sutures. So they glue them all up, clean them all out, do some sort of radiology. I want to say it was a CT. It wasn't an MRI, to make sure that my lung wasn't punctured because I was having difficulty breathing. It turned out to just be broken and bruised ribs. Thank God my lung wasn't punctured, but it was centimeters. The stab wound right here was centimeters from puncturing my lung. Centimeters. So they close me up. I'm all alone still, and a detective comes in. Get ready for this. Now I'm crying, I'm scared. This guy tries to strong arm me and bully me and says, we're not gonna do shit about this because you were the aggressor. I sat there like, bitch. I didn't say that, but in my mind I'm like, you're a straight bitch. You're a dude with a badge coming in and seeing a woman just got stabbed, crying, shaking, scared to death. Scared to death. And instead of you helping me, you say you're not gonna do anything because I'm the aggressor. I just got jumped by 3 women, stabbed 11 times with screwdrivers. I'm alone. I'm the aggressor? Ha! You have security footage, but you're not gonna do anything. Okay, that's cool. One of the cops drives me back to my car. My car's taped off. Tape all around it. Crime scene tape. There's blood all over the floor at the gas station. My car seat covered in blood. Covered. The floor. Floorboard covered in blood. There's blood splatter all over the hood, quarter panel, and door of my car. The cops use these stickers to take measurements of how much blood is on the car for their report. The stickers, the crime scene tape, and the blood are all still there. As this officer drops me back off to my car at 2 or 3 in the morning with no money, not even gas, because all the cash I had was stolen out of my car. The police have no idea where it went, none whatsoever. I was called gangbanging trash, never been a gangbanger in my whole life. I was called prison trash, never been to prison in my whole life other than to visit. And I was told I wouldn't be assisted by the cops. Now my money is missing, my phone is missing, but the cops are the good guys though, right? Okay. Whatever. So I'm at my car in paper pants and a paper shirt in the middle of the fucking night. I can barely move. Do you want, I don't know if you, to get stabbed by a knife hurts, but if you survive, they suture you and you're good. To get stabbed by a dull instrument, like an ice pick or a screwdriver, causes not only a deep laceration, but also a contusion. So the force of that object, a big bruise. I could barely move. Cool, I tough it out. I peel the stickers off my car and wipe the blood off. I get back in my car and I call TCP. And I tell him I'm fucked up, I'm scared, I don't want to go home. I don't know what to do. He's like, what happened? I'm like, I just got stabbed, jumped and stabbed. I'm scared. He said, meet me here. He gave me a location. I met him there. He gave me some gas money. All my money was gone. I didn't want to go home. I was terrified. I was terrified to be alone. I was numb. I was scared. I was in pain. My kids were with their dad, like they always were on the weekends. They were with me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then I drop them off at school Friday, or they get picked up Friday morning for school. And I go get them again Monday or Sunday night usually. That was our visitation schedule. So I spent the next day or two with TC, just sitting passenger in his car while he worked and ran errands, terrified to go home. Finally, the day comes Monday that the kids are coming home, and I go home, and I try to get a little rest. And I wake up from a nap and I go outside to go pick up my daughter from school, preschool, and there's a fucking boot on my car. I have no money. All the money I had just got robbed from me by the Bolingbrook police. I start calling people begging for help. I go in my house where I commonly hid cash. I always hid cash. I start tearing shit up. I found $200 bills, maybe 3. I needed $900 to get the fucking boot off my car. $900. I called my kid's great-grandma. She borrowed me the money, and I walked from Pulaski and Irving to Ashland and Irving 2 days after being stabbed, wounded as fuck. But I paid that shit. I got back to my house and I thought, God, I don't know if I can keep going. I don't know what to do. I'm scared, I'm sad. I couldn't talk to Dylan because when you're in prison, you have to have your phone numbers approved. You have to give the phone number to the prison staff and they have to approve the phone number. You can't just call any number. So when they took my contract phone, I had no way to reach him. The phone number from the track phone, he didn't have it on the list. So I'm calling his mom, terrified, his dad. Finally, I was able to get a hold of his dad right around the time they took the boot off the car. And his dad said, his mom said she'd have Dylan call his dad. So I went over there and waited for Dylan to call on his dad's phone. I also went to visit him the next day, right after the stabbing. So, fucked up, not healed up at all, threw on a change of clothes, and went to visit him the next day. Talked to him the day after that on his dad's phone, got the boot off the car. I don't think I can handle any more, I'm telling him. He's telling me, stay strong, babe, it's okay. I was never thinking that he had anything to do with those girls stabbing me. Never. But could he have? Maybe. They won't let me talk to him and find out. I don't know to this day why those girls stabbed me. To this day, I don't know why those girls stabbed me. So, there's been no follow-up from the state, no follow-up from the law, no follow-up from anyone. That was the beginning of when all of these instances started taking place, and it's been nonstop ever since then. And that was April 2019. So, Dylan comes home, and, I'm sorry. That night after talking to him on the phone while he was with his dad, I go home, I have the kids. It starts storming like a motherfucker. I hear something outside, pop, 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 and my car's parked underneath the train. I was at 1827 West Tyler. I go and move my car. It was water dumping down from the railroad tracks, and there was about 2 feet of water under my car. I go move my car to the other side of the street. I try getting back into my house. All 3 kids are sleeping. The pressure from the water pouring into my house from every faucet, from the toilet, from the sinks, from the doors. My whole house was flooded. I couldn't even get the door open. I pushed that motherfucker with all my might. My kids were crying. I picked up the baby Alexis. She was 6, 5 at the time. I threw her over my shoulder. I grabbed the hands of the big kids. My daughter grabbed small Dylan, the cat, and we left. I put him in the car. It was 2 or 3 in the morning. I had no idea where we were going to go. I tried calling the family, but they were sleeping. It was the middle of the night. Cam called me right at that exact moment. Cam had stayed with me for 3 or 4 days when he first was released and slept on my couch. Again, all these guys, TC, Cam, I never had any sexual relationship with, not even the thought of it. They were like brothers to me. So, Cam calls, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. I explain about the flood. He tells me he has a room at the Silversmith Hotel, that I can come take the room. It's a suite, a huge suite. I'm so grateful. I drive downtown. I leave the cat in the car, and I take the kids up. Cam's in the room by himself, and I tell him, I know he's been, he parties from time to time, so I make sure I ask him on the phone before I get there and as soon as I arrive. This is not a party, right? I need my kids to have a few more hours of sleep. I'm leaving first thing in the morning. You're not having anyone here. He promised me, no, I'm not even staying here. It's for you and the kids. Thank you. So I put the kids in the king-size bed in the end room. I put on a movie for them. They go back to sleep. Some guy comes in, African dude. I don't know, I've never seen him before, but him and Cam go in the bathroom and start taking a bump. I fucking was pissed. I come storming out of the bedroom like, bro, I asked you 2 times. Now I got my kids in bed. You told me no one's gonna be here. They respectfully grabbed their shit and got the fuck out in that exact moment. Didn't even argue me. They left. The kids went to sleep. I sat up. I sat up the whole night. I waited for morning to come. And then the kids and I left. I went and dropped the big kids off at their dad's, the baby off at her dad's, and went back to the apartment to try to see what I could salvage. Now, in a matter of 2 weeks, my entire life has been ruined. I've been physically assaulted and stabbed numerous times. My car's been booted and all my money's been stolen. I've been ignored by the criminal justice system. I have nowhere to live. In a matter of 2 weeks, and it's 2 weeks before Dylan gets out of prison, and we're supposed to shoot a reality show in our house. And I don't even have a parole address for him because my house is flooded. I'm gonna leave it right there for now, but we can pick that back up later. It's a lot for me to remember, it's a lot for me to discuss. All of this is prior to them beating the fuck out of me with a tire iron. Prior to me getting raped 4 times because they put me outside of my new apartment. I'm done. Where the fuck is my check?